Hey everybody, I'm Andy Wyke.
I'm Steve Mobby.
I'm Alan Britt.
And I'm Chris Harris.
And welcome back to the Mystery Tobacco Review. Glad to have you guys. It's the month of June.
It's hot.
Yeah,
little
it's definitely
warm
warming up.
It's warm out today.
Definitely warming up. We're getting those sort of afternoon thunder showers. If you live in the South, you know what those are. If you don't, well, it's lots of rain.
You've probably also seen an afternoon thunderstorm somewhere.
Yeah,
At one point, yeah.
Yeah, I guess it's not like exclusive to the South. But today we're smoking a pretty full-bodied English blend.
Perfect for the 90-degree morning we're experiencing.
It's not something I would typically reach for in the middle of summer, but I will say it's a nice sort of rotation switch. I think I think all of us typically reach for our Virginias and Virginia Periques and things like that during this season. So our Inquisitor this month picked us a little something special to kind of throw us off here, I think.
And we are enjoying it in the comfortable air conditioning here at Low Country Pipe and Cigar. So
That's true.
we're not sitting outside in the heat smoking this or something.
Yeah. So our Inquisitor this month is Nicole Weed from our marketing department.
Nicole Weed.
Nicky Weed.
So a little bit of context. She is actually behind the camera right now, watching us suffer through this. She put it in the group chat that she had picked an English blend for the hottest day of the year. I think we all reacted appropriately.
Yeah.
But she is the one who shoots these videos, edits these videos, and I think this was a little bit on purpose because she knows our feelings on English blends in the summer. But
She's pretending like it wasn't on purpose, but
Yeah.
how do you do something like that on accident?
Yeah, so a little bit about her. When I smoke a pipe in the office or when we film like tasting notes with Shane, for her, an English blend is like an aromatic for most people. She loves just the room note of an English blend. For her, she always describes it as like a barbecue or like a campfire-y, just
Fair.
nostalgic feel that she likes the aroma of.
Yep.
As somebody who's not a pipe smoker, a lot of the aroma she just enjoys of an English blend. So I think that sort of goes into her pick here. I wasn't surprised to see that it was an English blend. I know that just like aroma-wise, that's what she gravitates to.
It makes sense. She's a gal who loves rodeos of all kinds. So
She also used to be a camp counselor.
Yeah. So she likes rustic things.
I would have figured, being a rodeo gal, she would have picked Merde de Cheval.
Okay. Yeah.
So maybe that's what this could be.
I don't think so, but it's a good guess.
Yeah.
It's a good guess. Before we get too far in here, you guys want to talk about which pipes you're smoking? Just so we don't forget that at the end.
Sure.
Yeah. What you got there, Steve?
I got me a little Rock Bulldog,
Workhorse.
which is, it's kind of a full circle moment for me. I've told the story, I think even sitting at this table, that my first ever pipe was a Rock Bulldog given to me by Shane Ireland, who apparently thought that I had a face
bulldog
that just
face?
fit a bulldog.
Yeah.
So this is not that pipe, but this is a same obviously shape and manufacturer. I just picked this up a couple of weeks ago. This is my first smoke in it actually.
Nice. It's very petite French take on a bulldog.
Yeah, I like how squat it is.
Yep.
It's got really nice grain too, Steve.
Yeah, I think it's a really nice little ROP. I think ROPs are just kind of good quality, underrated in general, and
One of the best
great
bang for your
value.
buck.
Yeah, great value for the price that you're paying for them. I've always been a big fan. Love the horn stem on there.
You had to bring Shane into the video somehow.
Just in his honor, we got to mention him.
We know you guys miss him. We know he's just traveling. It's okay, everybody. He'll be back next month.
Oh. Thanks.
You got a face for a peewit.
Yeah, I've heard that. So I've got like a little pickaxe, acorn, peewit sort of thing from Chris Asterio. It's got a pretty broad chamber on it that tapers a little bit. So I wanted to kind of smoke that for this English blend, see how it would develop. I haven't smoked a lot of English blends in this pipe, but it's sort of like a catch-all pipe for me. It's not really dedicated to one thing.
It's a nice pipe.
That's cool.
Thanks.
It's good.
I'm smoking a Castello Sea Rock.
Nice.
It's been an English pipe since the beginning. It was an estate when I purchased it. I'm not a big rusticated guy. I typically go for smooth pipes, with the exception being the Castello Sea Rocks. Just love the texture in them. Love the way this one's colored. Yeah, it's just a texture thing for me. Great size. It's for me kind of that wider chamber really usually works with most English blends that have a lot of complexity, a lot of different components. So the Castello Sea Rock's a favorite of mine.
It's a nice
It's a really
Canadian.
nice finish.
Thanks.
Yeah. Speaking of Canadians, this is a sandblasted. Nate calls this the espresso shape. Sandblasted espresso from Nate Rose. I actually got this pipe at the recent Chicago show. It's a super special pipe to me, without getting deep into the story. But yeah, Nate's a good buddy and he makes cool pipes.
Yep.
That stem, is it Bakelite or is it acrylic?
acrylic,
It's
yeah.
acrylic? Cool.
It's very cool.
Yeah, it's a nice pattern.
Thanks.
So when you guys opened this tobacco, any initial thoughts on components other than
Latakia.
Yeah.
A lot.
Latakia.
Yeah, this is, you kind of alluded to it before we were on camera.
Yeah.
It is a full English.
Yeah.
This isn't in the realm of mild Englishes or letting the Virginia shine. The Latakia is up front and I think a significant portion of the blend.
Yeah. So before, when we were first kind of smelling the bag and all that, there was some debate about whether there was dark fired in here too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What are you guys' thoughts now that we're
I don't think
puffing
so.
away?
I don't think so. So admittedly,
I don't like dark fire, and usually I pick it up very quickly in a blend.
so you know we don't. I don't smoke a lot of Englishes, no secret. But one I did smoke a lot of upon release last year was Smokehouse, which is a really interesting mixture of dark fired and Latakia. And initially the smell brought me back to that, but it just doesn't taste like it on the palate.
Yep.
I'm not getting dark fire.
I think for me, dark fire hits like a part of the palate that, for me, it's like that barbecue-y, ketchup-y type of like note that I typically immediately dislike in dark fired. I don't really. I try dark fired blends when they come out, but it's not something I typically gravitate to. And I'm mostly just getting like the Latakia from this. I'm kind of thinking there's definitely Perique in there as well. A little bit of what I'm getting.
I don't know. I wouldn't have went Perique.
I'm not sold on Perique. I definitely agree that I don't think there's dark fired in here. I am not sold on Perique.
So, if I was to guess, I think this is like...
You are to guess. That's
If this was
that's what
a-
we're here
Sort of the whole point. Yeah.
I think this could be something as significant as like 50% lat.
It's like a Star of the East type of thing.
So, yeah, without getting super deep into a guess, I was alluding towards Star of the East. Because, I mean, just visually and from the smell, from the flavor, I think it's heavily lat.
I don't think it's not hitting me like as hard with Latakia as Star of the East. So for some context, I was into cigars way more before I started working. I'd never smoked a pipe until 3 years ago. When I first started smoking a pipe, Kaz, who works with us, had set me up with like 5 or 6 different samples of everything across from aromatics, Virginia Periques, all the way to Englishes. I worked my way down the line. English was the last one that I had tried, and I really couldn't get a lot of flavor from the other blends coming from the cigar side. Everything just felt like very light to me because pipe tobacco is more nuanced, bit lighter than a cigar would be, especially I was coming from Nicaraguan cigars. It wasn't until I got to the English blends that I was like, wow, this is radically different than anything I'm getting from cigars. So it really kept me coming back to pipe smoking. It was very forgiving for a newcomer with cadence. It stayed lit. I was smoking it outside. It wouldn't burn too hot. And that tobacco was Star of the East. So I definitely have a soft spot for Star of the East, and it's actually one that I kind of keep coming back to, along with To Quiet Nights on the English side of things.
Yeah.
But it doesn't feel that dark.
Yeah, I don't think Alan is crazy for thinking it's that much of a bomb, but I would think that it's a little bit less than that. I also am not really getting Star of the East vibes here.
So, full disclosure, I've never smoked Star of the East. This is strictly based on like,
It's all theoretical.
right. I know the portfolio super well.
Yeah.
It's kind of my job.
Is there some trickery here? Do we see that this was a flake, do we think? That Nicole...
So I
It
think
was
it's-
definitely pressed.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
it was definitely pressed. I'm not sure if it's already rubbed or if it's a flake.
Flake that's
Okay.
kind of broken down.
Andy's entering his finger painting with tobacco phase in the video.
My favorite portion of the video.
Yeah.
So
Can we get a graphic,
I-
like finger painting with that?
yeah, finger painting with Andy. Chris, you mentioned Darkfire. I think one interesting thing to point out is that what you're associating with Darkfire typically is Kentucky Fire Cured.
Yeah.
Italian Darkfire does not have the same
Okay.
like barbecue like notes.
Yeah.
I think manufacturer-wise, I think this is C&D
For sure.
manufactured.
Yeah.
It tastes very, very much like the Turkish Latakia that C&D's moved towards in the last couple of years.
Yeah. I don't know. When I first lit it on the retrohale, I got a lot of pepper, which did make me think there's a little bit of Brie in here. But also I get a similar thing from Italian Darkfire.
Okay.
So I'm not sure. I want to keep smoking this and then just see how it develops.
I'm still getting some of that pepper
Yeah.
on the retrohale.
Yeah.
Is it psychosomatic, or am I also getting the...
What's the Missouri Meerschaum English?
Drawdown.
Drawdown?
It feels very drawdown to me.
Really?
There's also like a plain Inquisitor guess I have for later, which
It's a deep cut.
doesn't specific. I like Luminaire.
I love
Luminaire.
Yeah,
and
Luminaire's
you're
really
I'm a
really
party
big,
line.
you're a big party line guy.
Party line.
But Drawdown was one of the first ones that I believe that Jeremy started working with the new Latakia, and that was like the big thing with that blend.
What's the cut on Drawdown?
I think it's a ready rub.
Is it? Okay.
I think all of them are pressed.
Good pull. Yeah, party line's a cake.
Yeah, you're right.
And then Luminaire's a flake.
So there's been. So my playing the Inquisitor card here is Nicole is in our marketing department, and a lot of what she does is the brand photos and the new releases for different blends that come out. So she gets very tied into the artwork of these blends. Some of her favorite things just are into things that Anya has painted, artwork that she really identifies with. And there's a painting above Anya who does all the artwork for the Cornell and Deal and type of blends that is hanging there, and it's the ellipsis painting. And Nicole, on tours that I've given people, she's always picked that picture out. She's like, that's my favorite. Now also she had a tie with a piece of content she did with Horizons. So my brain, before I even sat down, before I smelled it, those two were on my radar, Horizons and Ellipsis. To me, it tastes more like Ellipsis. But those were the two that I want to throw out there for the group to kind of think about. They were both flakes.
Horizons has Darkfire, right?
Horizons does, and Ellipsis does not.
Right.
Now,
both
Ellipsis, I
have
believe, has
Perique.
Burley as well, and Black Calf.
Yeah. I feel like
I think they both have Perique now.
I know Ellipsis
I think they have
does.
Metropolis.
I feel like they are. I'm also thinking about Metropolis. which has
Metropolis has Darkfire,
Yeah.
and it seemed very prominent to me when I smoked it.
Darkfire. Yeah.
And Perique. But I'm going towards Zeitgeist. One, it fits kind of the components we're talking about here and the cut. And also just because Nicole loves shooting and photographing the campaigns for the Zeitgeist series. So that's just sort of where my brain went.
Interesting.
I went with Zeitgeist as well. I wasn't sure which one. Bankside is also in English. I haven't smoked Bankside in a really long time.
It was super mild on the lat, though.
Yeah.
I mean, like, almost inconceivable.
I
Yeah,
mean,
this
like,
I definitely don't think this is Bankside.
Bankside had everything in it.
Yeah.
That's how I feel about
It was
Metropolis.
very Virginia forward.
I also think Ellipsis is not that lat forward.
Yeah.
Metropolis is.
Metropolis, I remember even smelling the tin. The dark fire felt way more prominent, like
in Metropolis.
in Metropolis. Yeah. Yeah, I even felt like I smelled more dark fired in Metropolis than Latakia. I'm not sure of the proportions in the actual recipe, but just from the tin note, it felt very dark fired forward. Now, what about talking about Nicole and marketing? There's some stuff on the horizon that you guys may or may not know about. Toscano. Toscano's got a couple of English blends, including one that was a limited release that has been insanely popular.
That's not in English.
Puccini's not?
No,
It just has dark fire.
it's all dark fired.
Oh, I'm an idiot.
All three.
Take that back.
Concerto, Allegro, and Sinfonia are all English blends.
Yeah.
Very exotic sounding accent you had there.
Yeah, that was impressive.
Concerto is this is completely off
Concerto.
topic, but Concerto is an insane blend. If I'm not mistaken, it's a third like dark fired, Perique, and Latakia.
Yeah.
An absolute flavor bomb. And if you haven't smoked it and really want to put your yourself to the test on your nicotine strength and how you can handle it, Concerto,
Yeah.
try it out.
It's a good blend.
Yeah.
Good blend.
Not much in the way of nicotine here for me. I'm on empty stomach, and I don't handle nicotine well typically, and doesn't seem to really be doing too much for me.
There's definitely Perique in here.
Dang.
You're more convinced?
Yeah,
Okay.
Mostly in the retros where I'm like,
it like hits my sinuses
Yeah.
in a certain way.
I've smoked 2 cigars today already.
for reference, it's 8 a.m.
Yeah. And had how many cups of coffee?
Were those last night or this morning?
I smoked
That's
2.
impressive.
Yeah.
I haven't been awake long enough to smoke
Smoked
two
cigar
cigars.
when I woke up, then one on the way here.
It's weirdly getting drier the like further down the bowl I get. I feel like there's
Yeah.
a lot of
Yes.
sweetness up front, but as I'm getting like the halfway point here, I think it's like it's starting to take on like a more tanniny, like drier finish.
Yeah. And I wonder, this was a very, like, it was very moist when we pulled this out of the tin. So I'm wondering if it's just natural that it's going to change on us a little bit.
That's
as,
why I think it was a
as
flake.
changes.
Knowing Nicole, she could have pulled this straight off a press at C&D.
Pulled it out of Jeremy Reeves' pocket.
Yeah. Jeremy always keeps pocket.
There's some
Latakia.
There's some denim in mine.
He's got one pocket for Latakia, one pocket for 31 Farms Perique.
Genuine. St. James Parish Perique from 31 Farms, the official
Trademark.
supplier.
Trademark.
Yeah,
I'm-
I don't know if it was a flake or like what C&D calls like a chop block. Now, typically with chop blocks, you don't get these like thicker pieces. So like I wonder if like I don't know, maybe Nicole did go back to C&D and have them like take a flake and then just chop it up, because it's like it doesn't really look rubbed out to me.
I think Nicole did it.
Could be. She might have borrowed Jeremy's Star Cutter and just like
She's filmed enough videos of people preparing tobacco that I feel comfortable that she could do it.
You guys have got in my head. There is a tangle on the retro house.
It's there. It's there.
I don't think it's
very
like a
dry.
lot.
I think it's
Yeah, I don't
super
think it's
dry.
a lot, but I think there's definitely some Perique in here.
Yeah.
Pairs quite well with Methodical's Blue Boy,
Yeah.
I must say.
Drink South Carolina coffee. Smoke South Carolina tobacco.
I'm out of beans. I need to get some more.
I got you. I got you.
I'm still on the fence about dark fired. It's so hard for me when there's dark fired and Latakia in a blend because they're both fire cured.
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
I don't know.
Especially when I think the Latakia is as prominent
Yeah.
as it seems to be here. It kind of covers some of those same notes and just makes it hard to pick out.
As we've got deeper, I'm with Andy and you guys. There's Perique in this for sure.
There's got to be.
The side
gotta be.
stream is like, I mean, the room down here is like straight Latakia.
I feel like that is the case for most English blends, though.
It's-
Or most
like
like
heaven.
heavy Latakia English blend.
Yeah, she picked this just because she wanted to be in the room when we all
Smells
smoked it.
yummy.
I like it, man. I'm like freight train this
Yeah,
thing. It's just
yeah.
like producing tons of smoke.
It's very voluminous.
Performs
yeah.
really well, even though the moisture content was
Yeah.
a little high.
Very voluminous smoke. It's very like creamy and rich, with just that dry finish to it, with that little bit of pepper on the retro. I'm definitely enjoying this more than I kind of expected to going into it.
It's obscure, but in heavy Latakia blends, I often get like a habanero pepper thing on the 10 note, and even on like the cold draw before I lit the pipe.
Right.
I don't know why. Like it's super prominent to me in things like Pessy Canoe.
Okay.
Yep.
I don't often get it in C&D Englishes, but this to me, I get it.
The
heavily.
Pescacanoe stuff is a little bit more vegetal.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, it's like a roasted habanero. If you're making salsa, you throw it on the open flame. Very specific tasting note, but yeah,
Like a char, right?
charred habanero. And there's like a slight sweetness to it, kind of a barbecue sweetness. I might be Team Dark Friday.
Okay.
More
Are you still thinking Perique though too? Like you think it's both?
Yeah. Man. I'm conflicted. Englishes are so difficult.
What do your L5s see, Andy?
We don't think this is.
I'm
what was
looking-
From Beyond.
From Beyond was in English.
Yeah, I know that. I didn't know.
English
Carno-
Greek.
It feels From Beyond a bit to me.
Really?
But so From Beyond is sort of, I think of a lot as like nightcap, like an aged nightcap is sort of the way that
So, yeah.
Jeremy would describe it.
It's not a match.
What was the cut on From Beyond?
I think it was,
was a ribbon.
It was a ribbon.
Yeah.
I don't think this is from
I
Beyond.
don't think it is.
No, that's what would steer me away. It's certainly not ribbon.
So I'm looking here for like what is Latakia and what could potentially be Perique. There is a slight color difference when you look at them. Like the Latakia is a bit like it's more blackened. The like Perique is also almost black, but it does have like a bit of a more like desaturated gray undertone kind of thing, just from the processing and stuff. So like that was sort of what I was looking for.
I'm not getting that.
Yeah, I don't see like, I'm not seeing like what I could recognize as Perique, but this is also a very dark blend. But I don't know, like,
Maybe even stoved. Like it's something that's been stoved.
could be.
Because there's clearly Virginias in this.
Yes.
But even
yeah.
though like what I perceive to be Virginians are even really dark.
They're dark, yeah.
Yeah,
like
it
a,
is just-
like a
it's very
medium
dark
medium
blend in
brown,
general.
medium to darker brown.
So it's like very possible this was something that's been stoved, whether advertised nor not advertised.
It's also hard because like this was a flake at one point, or a ready rubbed, and so
don't
like
think
with ribbons, it's a bit easier to identify like the actual cuts. I don't know. There is some leaf here that is a bit like it has like a matte sort of look to it. I also see red leaf, bright leaf. So red Virginias, bright Virginias. Gosh. I wonder if like part of the problem here is that this might have granulated Perique instead of long cut Perique.
Think so?
Yeah.
And so like I'm looking.
We're way above my pay grade here.
Like
looking for-
blended with granulated Perique and then pressed?
Maybe, I don't know. I don't know how that works. I feel like that'd be hard, right?
Would that change
that
your?
would be-
Would that
that would
change
be
the blend you would pick?
No.
Okay. Just wondering.
No, just because there's
is all
some
academic.
pieces here that are like, I don't know.
We're gonna do a bunch of research, make a bunch of educated guesses, talk it out, and then just go with our initial gut feeling anyway.
Black duck. Yeah, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to like hazard an actual guess, but I'm gonna say this has got bright Virginias, red Virginias, Perique, maybe dark fired, and a lot of Latakia. I'm not seeing any like, I don't see a lot of like Oriental looking leaf. There might be some in there, but like I'm not seeing that sort of signature. Well, maybe here. Like
Yeah,
a sort of like
That
olive.
definitely smells like a red Virginia.
Yeah,
That's Virginia.
I'm still
That
not
could
sold
be
on dark fire.
Burley. Is that not Burley?
Or something like a
It's like that nuttiness of Burley to me.
Something a little bready. to
That convinced me.
We'll take a whiff on that.
I know what it is now.
Yeah, I'm still not sold on dark fired. I think
Yeah.
Turkish Latakia and Perique could explain everything that I'm tasting here.
I am between Horizons and Ellipsis, and that hinges on the dark fired question, I suppose.
So also, it is very well blended, whatever it is. Just from the bag note, I expected it to be a Latakia bomb. I feel like it is whatever the condimental tobaccos are in it. They all complement each other very well. The Latakia does a great job of balancing out sweetness in the Virginias, and it turns into this amalgamation of one consistent flavor for me, rather than a bunch of I taste this and this and this.
That's
and
why it
this.
feels like the
Amalgamation's
Zeitgeist
a
series
big
to
word,
me.
man.
Because the Zeitgeist series, when you read the
Learn.
tin, it's a lot.
Yeah.
And then they work together to really come up with a great blend.
I do
Yeah.
think there's a little bit of dark fired.
Okay.
Well, then you go. I'm gonna.
I think Virginia, Latakia, a little bit of dark fired, a little bit of Perique. I'm not sure which one that is, but I'm gonna guess one of
Horizons?
those guys. Could be. Horizons was a flake, so
You know what? I'm gonna go Star of the East,
okay.
and
Okay.
for no other.
I told you we
Are
were
these
just going to
flake?
go with our
Yeah.
guts.
Then I've
Yeah.
never smoked Star of the East, and this is what I imagine it tastes like.
Okay.
All right, I'll go Ellipsis.
I'm also going ellipsis.
I'll do Horizons just for
I think there's a good chance it's Horizons too.
just for giggles.
All right, let's find out.
Hi guys, my name is Nicole and I'm the digital media creator here. And today I chose the third entry into the Zeitgeist series of the GLP's Horizons. Two reasons why I chose this blend is because I get to go back into Cornell and Deal's factory and watch them hand produce everything. I love the aromas back there, especially English blends with the kind of smoky bonfire smell. The second reason why I chose this blend is because I get to work with such incredible people in the marketing department who are individually specialized in their roles. One of which is Anya. She's our graphic designer here. She will hand paint on a canvas all the blends that you know and love by Cornell and Deal. One of which is Horizons that she produced. She did produce this digitally. This tin art is actually inspired by the Jeff Beach retrofuturism drawing they had in the 1940s and the 1950s. So I hope you guys were able to get some of that sweetness from the red Virginias and some of the spiciness from the Latakia and the Orientals. Hope you guys enjoy.
So,
Mic drop.
one,
Yeah.
that's good.
Well done.
Shout out.
Well done.
Shout out. But also, I got to give Chris half a point for the assist on that.
Yeah, yeah.
That was, he threw you
It
the
takes a
alley-oop
village.
there.
It takes a village.
It does.
Yeah, I was
A win
between the
for
two.
one is a win for all.
So-
It takes a village, and we're the village idiots
Officially,
for
what
not
are the
getting it.
components of Horizon? Virginia Oriental Latakia?
No, it's
Are we hearing yes? We're hearing yes.
all right. We got it here. Yeah.
Yep, Virginia, Latakia, and Oriental. There's no Perique.
Okay.
Jeez.
Okay.
There's no listed Perique.
Well, we got some conspiracy theories here.
Conspiracy. It's very good.
This is very good.
As an English hater, I'm gonna concede it's very good.
It's one I spoke to a good bit when it first came out, and I remember Nicole in the office saying, "What do you smell? Is that Horizons?" Because she liked the aroma of it. So it's a really nice English blend. I think
I'm getting a lot of spice on the retrohale. It's very interesting. I wouldn't.
what's good that you picked the one that didn't have pre.
Well, depending on
Or
the
dark
depending on the Oriental variety.
That's what I'm saying. Like we're all gonna sit here and
We did not trust your
analyze
palate.
this and do
I just did
our-
that to throw you guys
our
off.
science and then just go with the gut.
I oftentimes get like a perique-like spiciness from certain Oriental varieties.
That's true. That's true. I was totally discounting the Oriental, but I think you're totally right about that.
Yeah. Well, you were totally right about the blend, man.
Yeah, man.
Oh, that's a-
nailed
back,
it.
baby.
Nailed it.
That's a full point for Andy.
Triumphant return. Yeah.
And yeah, thank you guys for joining us. Thank you, Nicole, for being the Inquisitor. And we will see you guys next month for another mystery review.
Thanks so much for watching, guys. Make sure to like and subscribe if you haven't already. We want more people to see our stuff.